Hi guys. So today I want to share with you the exact documents that we submitted for our D8 visa application to Portugal. And if you are applying for the D7, it will be very similar other than the income requirements. So I really hope that this helps you to get all your little ducks in a row and to understand exactly what is needed. It was very hard for us to find a comprehensive list of what was needed. The VFS website gives you a vague checklist, but it's not nearly everything. So I really hope that this helps you. Our visa was approved in 4 weeks. We did have 2 appointments. The first appointment, there were 3 things that we didn't know about. Nobody had told us, it was on no list, so we had to then make a second appointment. By then, all our ducks were in a row and we were approved after 4 weeks. So I really hope this helps you be able to do it first time, get it first time. Alrighty, here we go. There are 18 things, so bear with me. Number 1, the appointment letter that you are given when you make the appointment. It'll be emailed to you, it's got barcode on it. If there are 2 of you together, it'll have both your names on. Print that out, and that'll be the very first thing that you need because you won't get in the building without it. And it's the first thing they ask you for at the counter when you go and do your application. Right, number 2, a filled out application form. I think it's 2 pages long and you can download it at the VFS website. We actually printed out 2 copies each, filled one out, and took a blank one with just in case we'd made a mistake, which we hadn't. Right, number 3, 2 identical color passport photos. That is easy enough. Number 4, your passport as well as a copy of your passport, and a copy needs to be certified at a police station or at a commissioner of oaths. And I would do this sort of a week or 2 before the appointment because it needs to be relatively new. It shouldn't be months old. Again, we did 2 each, just in case something happened to one or we needed one for something else. Number 5 is your cover letter. This is in English. It is important that it's a 1-pager. It's really very brief, to whom it may concern, stating which visa you're applying for, why you want to move to Portugal, very, very brief. A brief explanation that you can afford to live there, your address in Portugal, the telephone number of the landlord if applicable, as well as a list of the supporting documentation that is coming with your application. And this would be things like bank account statements proving X amount of income, your lease registered with the authorities, your NIF number. I put these things into 2 columns so that I could fit it all into 1 page. And then you can just end that off by saying, I hope this is in order. If you need anything else, please don't hesitate to contact me. Your name, your email address, your telephone number, and a signature. Short and sweet, but with all the relevant information. Number 6, so Bridget needed to show a copy of her ID, also certified, as well as a permanent residency letter. This is because she is a British citizen. So even though she has been living in South Africa for 20 years, she needed to prove that she was legitimately here. I did not have to give a copy of my ID. Number 7, a copy of our marriage certificate, also certified at the police station. This was not in any list, but because we're applying together and Bridge is the one with the savings and the Portuguese bank account is in her name, we thought it was safe. We asked the lady if she needed it. She said give it. So the more the better. Number 8, very important, to a police clearance certificate. This needs to be apostilled at DIRCO, not at the High Commission or courts or anything like that. And the SAP stamp needs to be no older than 3 months. So the timing here is critical because it can take 10 weeks for you to get it back. But it needs to be within 3 months for your appointment. We used City Sprint. They're really, really good. So you go to the police station, you do your fingerprints. They'll give you an envelope. You then phone City Sprint, they come and collect it. They take it to SAPS in Pretoria. That takes about a week. When you get that SMS, you then phone City Sprint again and you let them know they can go and collect it. They take it to Durco. Same thing, when Durco contacts you, you contact City Sprint. They collect it and they get it back to you. This whole process took approximately 10 weeks. You can fast track it with an agent, just do beware of scam artists. We used somebody the second time around because it took so long to get it back the first time because of the delays at Durco that by the time we had our appointment, it was 3 months and 3 days. No good. So the second time around, we actually used apostle.co.za. Cost us 8,500 Rand for both, but we got them back within 3 weeks. Number 9, SEF criminal check authorization form, signed and filled out. It's a one-pager. It is just giving the Portuguese authorities permission to do a check on you, make sure you haven't committed any crimes in Amsterdam, for instance. This is what it looks like, and you can download it from the VFS website. If you Google SEF authorization Portugal, you should find it as well. Right, number 10, proof that you have an NIF number. This was actually the first thing we did, was get our NIF numbers, because you can't open a bank account, you can't do anything without it. And this proof is a 2-pager from whoever you do your NIF through. We used anchorless.io. Took about a week, not expensive, but probably the first thing you'll do. Number 11, flight reservations. This was one of the things we did not have the first time around. Importantly, you do not have to actually book the flights and pay for the flights. Speak to Travel Start. They have a great service. It's basically a provisionary booking, and make sure that it coincides with your lease and with when you want to travel. Number 12, lease agreement for 12 months in Portugal. Or proof of ownership if you bought, or if you have a friend who's sponsoring you, then I think it's called a non-lease agreement, something, which is basically saying that you can stay with them. I'm not too sure of those details because that's not the route we went. We got a 12-month lease agreement. This needs to be in Portuguese. And importantly, in Portugal, you sign a 12-month lease, but after 4 months, you can leave as long as you have given notice of a month or 2, depending on what you have agreed. Number 13, proof that the lease is registered by the landlord with the Portuguese authorities. So the landlord does this, they send it to you, you print it, it goes with your application. Our landlord also gave us a receipt for our deposit payment. That also went off with the application. Number 14, health insurance, valid for 6 months. This must coincide more or less with your lease, with your travel dates and flights. We used europeinsurance.eu. Technically, it can be 3 months, but then, of course, if there's a delay, then you have to change it, and then that could delay your visa. So best to just get it done for 6 months, and then you're covered, and you're also covered when you arrive in Portugal. Number 15, 3 months bank statements. Here's the important bit. Each page needs to be stamped and signed by the bank manager. So this was for Bridge, who has an employment contract. For myself, it needed to be 6 months bank statements. As I'm self-employed, these were our FNB accounts, stamped, signed by the bank manager, and they need to be recent. Number 16, we're getting close to the end, guys. So if you're employed, a work contract stating that you may work remotely, this is very important. They ask about it and they highlight that part of your contract. If you're self-employed, you need either contracts from clients or a letter from your accountant stating that you're self-employed and what you earn on average. Number 17, proof of any savings. So this is bank account statements, recent transaction history showing a balance, local banks or investment accounts is fine. Needs to be recent, and again needs to be signed and stamped by your broker or your bank account manager. And finally, a statement from your Portuguese bank showing a balance of €800 per person. So in our case, it was 1,600. With a D8 visa, you don't technically need to show savings, but it helps to show as much as you possibly can. This is for number 17, but you do need to show this balance of 1,600 in the Portuguese bank account. Nowhere did we know this. Nowhere did we read this. Nobody told us about this. We literally found this out at our first appointment, and we were able to then get that for the second one. So very, very important. So that's it, guys. Those are the 18 documents. This is what it looked like on our coffee table as we were getting the documents ready. And I would highly recommend that you get a binder of sorts, or perhaps a leather folder with a zip that takes these plastic sheets. Get some stickers and start getting everything together in something like this. You can go fancier than this, of course, and you can do one each, or you can just do one. But do keep your stuff separate, because they take everything separately. They'll do one of you and then they'll do the other. Yeah, if you are on this journey and you're busy getting your paperwork together, all I can say is good luck. They are not out to get you. Everybody that we dealt with was very friendly, very helpful, and it seemed like they were on our side. So yeah, good luck.